the role of princess, and Anushka had not even delivered her dialogues properly. Oh dear, that's bad. Yes, Amma. I went and asked teacher why she did that, and she simply replied, because she is the fairest. So is being fair that important? This happened to me 41 years ago when I was in standard 4th. Don't calculate, I'm 50 now. At that time, my mother consoled me saying that, dear, it's a pity that your teacher has a very limited vision and her eyes are not capable enough to see the beauty in God's creation. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. So, what do you all think? Do you think the teacher did this intentionally? Or she not as vulnerable to being influenced by faulty assumptions and biases as everyone else is?
Yeah, excuse me, Shobha.
Yes,
Intentionally,
Toastmaster.
you've not been inviting us for dinner to your place. It's been almost a month now. 29th of Feb is gone. We still haven't had a dinner at your place. Is that intentionally or not intentionally?
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Yan. I do remember the dinner at my place. I think I'll send an official invite to all of you who all are present today, attending this meeting. Definitely, the invite will come to you by the next meeting. I hope the lockdown is soon over. Is that okay
All
for you,
right.
Mr. Yan?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
looking forward to that, all right?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Yan.
Thank you.
So now getting back to you. Do you really feel that the teacher did this intentionally? Was she not influenced by faulty assumptions or biases as we everyone else? Do we all practice bias in some way or other? What is bias? It is basically a prejudice in favor of or against a thing, a person, or a group compared with another, usually in a manner that is considered to be unfair. Unconscious or implicit bias refers to attitudes, stereotypes, and prejudices which are created and developed in our subconscious mind right from our childhood. And this influences or affects our belief or opinion of people who are around us. These are so deep rooted that we don't even know or realize that they exist. Despite our best intentions, our perception of people is a mirage influenced by our past experiences, race, age, appearance, our family background, educational background, social and cultural environment, etc. Even our ignorance also plays a big part on this. Why this happens? It is mainly because our mind, our subconscious
Chandra,
brain or mind,
Chandra,
realize,
Chandra, do you know
yeah,
how
just a minute.
where to renew the driving license, Chandra?
Excuse me, Toastmaster Raghu. I think, excuse me, Toastmaster Raghu, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Uh, I'm right now giving a speech. Okay, if you can just, if you want to ask anything to the other person, can you please mute yourself and then ask him? I
Okay.
think,
Okay.
so, yeah. Is that okay?
Okay. I will do that. I
Yeah.
will do that.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Raghu. Okay, now coming back to it. Why do we have these things? Because our brain, what happens? It relies more on instinct than on facts and analysis. And this sometimes makes us misinterpret people. Unconscious bias creates a boundary, an invisible, unseen boundary around us, within which we think, react, and take decisions. It can give some people unfair. Yeah, one
Shobha,
second.
have
Yeah.
you heard about Bipasha Basu or Nawazuddin Siddiqui? Both of them doesn't look very bright, and both of them are not, but they are very popular in their profession, what they are doing. So I don't agree what you are saying here.
But
The race, color, appearance doesn't matter in your professional career. or it doesn't hinder your success. We have a lot of examples like Abdul Kalam. If you look at Bollywood or cricket, you have amples of examples in all the fields where people has overcome their disabilities or appearance and still are successful.
I think I totally agree with Saurabh on that, Shobha. How can you come about making such a statement when you have so many living examples out there? I don't think the statement that you are doing you've made is apt for us to actually adhere to. What do you say, Saurabh?
I completely agree, Anita.
Yeah, that is what I think.
There are a lot of examples within our Toastmaster fraternity itself. So
Absolutely. I totally agree with what Saurabh is saying, Shobha.
That was really definitely a very interesting discussion which Saurav and Anita had, and addressing my particular project speech. I do agree that there are people who have really given a fight and then they have made a name for themselves. But they really have to put in a lot of effort for that. You also know that Bipasha Pansu also had a lot of problems. The amount of conflicts that she faced, or how people ridiculed her just because of her color. And even Abdul Kalam used to have a lot of problems. They all came up. Yeah, we do have to play. What my project basically is, I have written this project from my own personal experience, and I've noticed many times that our prejudices are so deep that you don't realize that they're there. And people do that. Like, no, people do that unconsciously. I'm just asking people to be aware of it so that this particular thing reduces. I hope that answers your questions. If you have furthermore, we can have a better or longer discussion maybe after the speech, or maybe in the next session, or maybe later on you can give me a call. I can call you back and we can have a discussion about the same. So can I proceed with my speech? Yeah. Thank you so
thank you.
much, Sushma Sanita, and thank you so much, Sushma Saurav.
Nice.
Okay. So the boundary that we create because of this unconscious bias also restricts our thinking basically. So it sometimes it puts the person, it gives him unfair advantage, and at the same time puts the other person at a greater disadvantage. Like for example, especially in when you're working, and it's often responsible for causing dissatisfaction, because when you start evaluating a person's competency based on his age or seniority, there is bound to be some dissatisfaction at work. There's so many other day-to-day examples that you can see. Like we feel that a tall person is more capable, fairer is beautiful, thinner is healthier, or women are slow or bad drivers, and what else? Like no, and the list just continues. Okay, we are constantly judging people who are around us. One never really starts from scratch with the other person. Even when you're meeting him or her for the first time, our brain starts filling up details about that person even before they have spoken a word. See what happens, our daily interactions or our everyday interactions with people are colored by subtle biases that distort or shape our visions. All throughout the day, we are sending and receiving subtle messages to and from people around us through our body language, our work choice, and
Shobha, I
even
think
our
Chandra has something
behavior.
to say. Chandra has something to say, I think.
Mr. Chandra, can you hear me? Mr. Chandra, yeah, is there anything that you would like to share, or would you like to ask me a question about what I'm speaking? Mr.
Actually,
Chandra?
I'm lost. I got disconnected from your this thing. So
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I think maybe we should check our connections before we start the meeting. Mr. Chandra, is the connection okay now? Can you hear me out properly now?
yes, I can do that. Yeah, okay.
So can I continue with my speech then? I hope
Yeah.
you'll be interested in the subject.
Yeah, please.
Thank you so much. So what I was telling you is, like we throughout the day, because of the messages we send out to our body language or our behavior, people start forming ideas about her. So there's a big gulf between how others perceive us and how we perceive ourselves. According to a Harvard University research, it is said that most of us believe that we are ethical and unbiased. But in reality, most of us sadly fall short of our inflated self-perception. We feel what we think or the way we think about a person is right. We also have a tendency to believe that our bad habits or faults are universal and quite normal. It's like everybody does it. I'm not so different. Like, for example, spitting or throwing trash or tissues on the street or leaving used tissues or glasses in your table after a meeting or at your home or at your workplace. But at the same time, when it comes to goodness, we feel that we have better principles. We are kind, we are fair, and we are more capable than others. Fighting our unconscious bias is really very difficult. It's very hard because they don't feel wrong, they feel right. But awareness of the same might make it easier to either lessen or sometimes completely root out the bias. So that is why we need to make our unconscious conscious. So now, think next time when you're forming an opinion about a person or judging a person, please remember that first impressions might be wrong. Take your time, pause, think. Don't just jump into conclusions. Think about the circumstances and how they have affected the person's action. Commit to being fair. We all want to be fair. The more we consciously think about it, I think the better our perception would be. Be aware of the confirmation bias. Just because the person would have done something more than once doesn't mean that he's always going to do the same action again or that he's going to react in the same manner again. Today, in today's world, if you see the signs of intolerance created by unconscious bias can be seen everywhere. That is why it's all the more important for us to approach unconscious bias heads on, talk about it, equip our children with the knowledge that everyone is different and beautiful in many more ways than the color of their skin, their accent, or their appearance. God has made each individual different, and it is time for us to realize this, understand this, and appreciate this difference. Over to you, Mr. Chandra. Over to you, Priyamudi.